Welcome to the Immigrant in Law channel. We continue our honest and detailed analysis of all the countries of the European Union through the eyes of the immigrants. In this video, you will learn the real pros and cons of living in Germany, Greece, Denmark, and Ireland. Without advertising, without gloss, and without illusions. Compare, analyze, and choose the country that suits you. So, let's continue our journey through Europe. Germany is a country that is most often chosen not with the heart, but with the mind. It is not about bright emotions and sun 300 days a year. It is about reliability, clear rules, and the feeling that your life here is built into a well-maintained mechanism. Perhaps the main advantage is the stability of the economy. Germany is the industrial engine of Europe, and there are plenty of vacancies here. Engineers, IT specialists, medics, logisticians are in constant demand, especially if you have a European education or proven experience. There are large companies, competitive salaries, and the labor market is generally balanced. The next advantage is the infrastructure. Trains, autobahns, public transportation. Everything works with German precision. Medicine is of high quality, but insurance status is important. Without insurance, it is expensive. With it, affordable, even in complicated cases. Quality of life, one of the best in the EU. High level of safety, cleanliness in cities, green areas, bicycle paths. All this gives comfort. Social guarantees really work, from decrees and benefits to the pension system. And, of course, education. There are many free or low-cost universities here, available even to foreigners, especially if you choose technical, medical, or scientific fields. In addition, Germany is the center of Europe. You can live in Cologne and in 2 hours be in France, the Netherlands, or Belgium. For those who like to travel, it's a dream come true. But now about the difficulties. The first thing that almost all those who have moved are faced with is bureaucracy. Everything here requires paper. Application, confirmation, copy, receipt. Everything is strictly according to protocol, and often in German. If you are used to quick decisions, it will be hard at first. Language is no less important. English will help in youth and international companies. But for life, it is not enough. You will need German everywhere, at the doctor's office, in the bank, when renting a house, in government agencies. This is not a country where you can skip without a language. Taxes are also a reality that you need to be prepared for. The rates are high, especially if you are self-employed or an entrepreneur. Up to 40% of your income can go to taxes and compulsory contributions. But you can see where these money go. Roads, medicine, education. Everything is financed from these revenues. Housing is a separate quest. In big cities, especially in Munich, Berlin, Hamburg, rent is expensive. And competition for apartments is like competition for a good job. Applications, documents, interviews with the owner, sometimes dozens of applications for one apartment. And another nuance is social distance. Germans are polite but not too open. It's hard to make friends. But once you're in the circle, it's serious and long-lasting. But the first few months can be cold, literally and figuratively. Greece is a country that is hard not to fall in love with. Sunny skies almost all year round, warm sea, mountains, olive groves, and the feeling that everything around you is created not for rushing, but for enjoying life. People often move here for the climate, nature, and a sense of peace, especially those who work remotely or are looking for a slower pace. One of the main advantages is the low cost of living. Rent, utilities, groceries are all significantly cheaper than in Western Europe, especially if you don't live in Athens, but in a small town or on an island. Fruits and vegetables are local and inexpensive. Fish is fresh. Coffee in cafes for 1-2 euros. For living by the sea, it is surprisingly affordable. The atmosphere is relaxed. People live a simpler life, often with a smile. No one chases status, no one counts minutes. Family values, evening walks, dinners with friends are part of the culture. Many people say, in Greece no one is in a hurry and you stop too. Additionally, there's the pension system. For those who have already finished an active career, the country looks very attractive. Warm climate, tranquility, inexpensive medicine and food. That is why Greece is often chosen as a second home in retirement. But it's also worth remembering the complexities. Greece is not Germany. Everything works here but very slowly. The paperwork, visits to government offices, even connecting the internet. Everything can take weeks. Patience and calmness are important here. The system will not collapse, but it will not be in a hurry. Language is critical. Without Greek, it is difficult to formalize anything, conclude a contract, or open an account. English is not understood everywhere, especially outside the tourist areas. Even in clinics and banks may not find a specialist who will understand you. Therefore, adaptation without the language will be difficult. There are also economic realities. Unemployment remains high, especially among young people. Finding a stable job is not an easy task, especially for a foreigner. Even with education and experience, many find that the market is crowded and pay is low. Denmark is a country that is often ranked among the happiest and most prosperous countries in the world, and for good reason. There is a real sense of balance here between work and personal life, between city and nature, between individuality and society. The standard of living is very high. Even an average Dane lives in a good house, gets a decent salary, and does not worry about not being able to pay for a doctor or kindergarten. Unemployment, maternity, sickness, everything is covered by the system. This is a country where no one will be left behind. One of the main feelings here is equality. It is not customary to show status here. People in offices and on construction sites can ride the same bicycles, drink coffee in the same cafes, and do not separate each other by external features. Minimize hierarchy at work. Your boss is not a boss in the usual sense, but simply a team coordinator. For families with children, this is almost perfect. Education is free, medicine is quality, the school system is not overburdened with stress. Lots of green spaces, safe cities, bicycle lanes everywhere. Copenhagen, Aarhus, Odense, cities where both children and adults are feeling comfortable. In addition, ecology and urbanism. It is really easy to breathe here. Clean air, minimum number of cars in the center, well thought out architecture. If you like bicycles and a moderate pace, Denmark will quickly become yours. But the perfect picture is not without its flaws. The first challenge is the climate. Denmark means overcast skies, wind, rain, and dark winters. Sunny days are worth their weight in gold. Many people who have moved say that this is what made it an unexpected challenge. If you're addicted to the weather emotionally, it's important to consider this ahead of time. The second point is integration. Danes are polite but very reserved. Making friends is difficult, especially without knowing the language. Local communities are quite closed, and even if you've already lived here for years, you can still feel like you're out of the loop. Life is expensive. Rent, food, transportation, especially in Copenhagen, will cost a tangible amount. That said, salaries are good, but if you're not embedded in the local system, moving can be an expensive start. Residence permits and citizenship aren't the easiest either. Denmark is not particularly open to migration. It's not easy to get a residence permit without a contract with an employer. The process is long, with a lot of requirements and checks. And for citizenship, and the mandatory Danish language at a high level, integration tests and many years of residence. Ireland is a country that is often left out of the top immigration destinations, but is increasingly becoming home to IT professionals, scientists, and entrepreneurs. Small, green, English-speaking, with European opportunities and a unique atmosphere. The first thing that makes Ireland easy to move to is the language. English is the primary language here. This means you don't have to learn a new language to get a job, sign a contract, or talk to a doctor. This is a serious advantage, especially for those who are just beginning the path of adaptation in Europe. The second reason is economics. Ireland is a hub for large international companies. Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, and dozens of other giants have their European offices here. IT and pharmaceuticals are strong, and the market for high-paying jobs is stable, especially for those who work in the technical or scientific field. Therefore, people come here not only for the greenery, but also for career prospects. And there is a lot of green, by the way. Ireland is a green country with a mild climate, without extreme heat and severe frosts. The nature here is beautiful, with mountains, lakes, coasts, and pastoral landscapes. Living close to nature, breathing fresh air, having a forest park next to the house, this is quite a reality, even in big cities. A separate advantage is the open and friendly people. The Irish are not as reserved as many Northerners. They are smiling, love to talk, and are eager to help, especially newcomers. If you are afraid of reticence or cultural coldness, here you will feel more relaxed. But despite all this, living in Ireland is expensive. Very expensive, especially when it comes to housing. This is one of the country's major crises. Real estate is scarce, and rents are prohibitively high, especially in Dublin. Finding an apartment is a real quest. Prices are rising, demand is high, and choice is limited. Prices in general are high. Groceries, services, transportation, insurance, everything takes a bite out of the budget. Even with a good salary, it's hard to save some money. This is especially felt by families with children and freelancers. And of course, the weather. It's mild, but capricious. It can be sunny, 10 minutes later it rains, then sunny again. It's like that every day. Lots of rain, gray days, strong winds. If sunshine is a necessity for you, it can be difficult. As you can see, each European country has its own character, its own advantages and disadvantages. Choosing a country is always an individual choice. Stability is more important to some, climate is more important to another, and accessibility to adaptation and career opportunities is more important to others. Compare carefully and choose wisely. Immigrant in Law team is ready to answer all questions about migration to the European Union. Our experts will help you find the best route to EU citizenship so that you can live, work, or study freely in any of the 27 European countries. In the next episode, you'll learn the honest pros and cons of living in countries like Spain, Italy, Cyprus, and Latvia. Stay tuned. Give us a like and ask your questions in the comments. Subscribe to Immigrant in Law channel and open a world of opportunities for you and your family. See you in the next episode.